Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another Duel video. I'm going to be going back and playing with my brand Despia Bystial build. I don't know what a lot of the people, the viewers on my channel, whether they might agree with this or not, or they might disagree. I'm actually planning to cut the uh, two of the Bystial Lubellions and just play one in the main deck because I'm trying to make it um, a minimum 40 cards. And I do realize I've been testing my hands in real life, and I noticed that the moment you draw to a second or third Lubellion, it's actually a brick. So he's gonna use Zeman's effect, paying 600 to add a punk monster. But going back to what I just said though, it was definitely a great card. Still is though, but it's not for the right format. It was definitely really good because you want to hit tiers as much as possible. And with the amount of search ability and with the fusion monster that we have in extra like Dusk Dragon, there is no reason to actually play multiple Bystial Lubellions. Considering you get to plus a lot with that card, but the effect to special summon it can be situational. So it's just that like you want to be sure, considering there isn't that many targets to hit in the grave with Bystials, but depending on the deck that you're playing, because it really makes your deck tight, and you want to give space for other cards. So, as looking at my opponent, he is playing a Plunder Patrol deck mixed with Punk. So we can assume this is a Punk Plunder Patrol deck based on what I'm looking at. So, but it's all up to you guys. If you could manage to fit 3 in there and take some other hits as well as trying to fit the Edge package. I did take the Edge package as well. I don't think that's necessary, as well as the Alba Lanudis, because I'm waiting in for the new support for branded in real life, and I feel like it will definitely make a huge difference. I already have access to the Dust Dragon as well as the Striking Dragon, which is on its way into my mailbox. So I feel like branded Despia Bystial will perform a lot better with the new support, because branded fusion can branded fusion has access to more fusion monsters now, besides the Albion Lubellion. So you want to be able to fusion some into more like Fallen Abyss fusion monsters. So that's what I'm waiting for. So the moment we get new support is when I'm have to like make some changes to this deck and make sure that it is adjusted properly. So Bystials had their time early when tier elements were around, and it's even though they have the shortcoming that you gotta cut some cards from the Bystial package to basically innovate your deck and try to compete with the current format. Though, although they're very solid, it's just that when another deck takes place, or pretty much like is under the new format, or is getting a lot of attention, becoming relevant, is when changes are going to be made to certain cards. Is where you're not going to have to play too many, or yeah, eventually they're going to be power crept. So you gotta be able to confirm and affirm what's going on, and be sure you can actually be able to have some adjustments against the later decks, so that you don't get mixed up with Bystials and that just all of a sudden they were good in the last format, they're going to be good again like last time. So from here on out, he ends his turn with the Plunder Patrol ship list, as well as his Blackbeard. He pretty much gave me advantage by giving me this token because it is a light attribute, thanks to one of his cards. So I'll use Alubra's effect to search for Branded Lost, because I already have Branded Fusion in hand. I'll activate Branded Lost. And like I said, the deck is already consistent with what it has, personally, in my opinion. So there's no reason to play 2 copies of Cartesia or maxing out a certain number of cards. Like, if anything, the only thing you need to max out are your starter cards. Like, for example, Alubra, Brand Fusion, Magnamut, or Magnamut, how you prefer to pronounce it, or if I don't know if I'm getting that, if I'm saying that correctly. I could be right or wrong, but you have to get what I mean. Like brand opening is definitely a starter card. This is a prime example of a starter card because I'm already playing 3 opening, 3 fusion, 3 Magnum, 3 Aluber, just in case, because those are the cards I want to see the most. But if you play like 2 Tri-Brigade Mirror Carrier, or like Tragedy, or you're playing 2 copies of other cards like that basically can put like Lubellion. Like I said, it's just better to add them as one-offs because you can easily search them, as well as Ecclesia. Some people don't agree with playing the Ecclesia, but it's just in case I want to be able to fusion summon using my opponent's monsters by summoning the Albat straight from my deck to the field, and have some sort of way of countering that. Because I want my deck to be more versatile, as well as just letting me be able to push. Which is why sometimes you gotta play more one-ofs in this deck than rather than like a bunch of like just guessing the number of cards that you need. That'll just make the deck more consistent. When really you need the cards that search for it a lot more easier. They're a lot more searchable with Brand Lost, so there's no reason to play uh, more than one-ofs in the deck, like I mentioned before. Because you can easily search with a Looper, especially if you open with Brand Fusion. All you need to do now is just search the land Brand Lost. And I hope you guys get what I mean, because I'm just trying to make a point. So I know I'm talking about the strategy of Despia, Despia Bystials, but it's just to help you understand, like, even if you get rid of some certain cards, it doesn't entirely make the deck useless. So I actually don't regret getting selling my 2 Lubellions, because eventually they're going to start clogging up my hand because I need to make room for new support. And so my mistake, I meant to banish his Foxy Tune because I forgot it was a light attribute. And so from here, he's like pretty much 2 disruptions that I gotta counter. So I'm waiting whether he's gonna use Morik's effect or Liss. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, like he hasn't used Liss effect yet to negate one of my monster effects, and destroy it. So he's definitely waiting on to use Morik's effect. So rather than talking about how to pretty much edit the deck, or utilize the strategy, or make some adjustments, let's just talk about the duel that's in front of us. So I'm waiting if he has any response. The reason why I asked how much defense has is because there's any power boost that I'm not aware of, like whether it's from his spell trap card zone. Because Plunder Patroll, I do notice there's a lot that has to do with them gaining a lot of attack and defense, depending on the number of Plunder Patrols that are in their spell trap card zones. So just in case, I'm gonna body his list with Magnamut. But in case during the battle phase, he's gonna use Morik's effect. He's gonna banish Masquerade, which is fine by me. So he's still gotta pay the 600 life points. I'm cool with that. All right. So he's discarding his emblem to banish my Masquerade, which is fine. I'm gonna attack over his list, as you see right now. I assume he gets a search. Yes, I was right. I should have paid more attention, because he already discarded a Plunder Patrol card. So, and then he lists his effects plus summon his Golden Hair. Fine by me. In phase, I'm gonna search for Sandir, and I'll pass off to my opponent. I don't see the reason. I was gonna go into Jewel Storm, but I don't see any point, because he'll just banish the more by discarding a Plunder Patrol card. So this is the card, okay, that I want to mention, because this is the one that lets them gain 500 attack rather than defense. So in case I made any error, these are the cards that I'm looking at here that are the ones that have pretty much utilized their attack points. That revolves around the spell trap card zone that I haven't mentioned, because in a way it's one. I do feel like you have to play a minimum of certain cards for Plunder to be very viable. But then I feel like if you don't draw on certain cards, the deck can basically brick. Or if there's any hits to the deck, like a hand trap, or you have a disruption during their turn, uh, while they start off and they only have 5 cards, and then I could see the deck being a risk. But considering he's playing with the mix of P.U.N.K, I think it changes the circumstance of it. So he's gonna do the same thing, just banish my Magnum. That's fine by me. Sure. But I'm gonna chain with Saren here, just in case he decides to revive his list. I'm cool with that. It's fine. Go ahead. And I'm not even sure why people are hoping that they should cut the Bystials from the Despia. I mean, from the brand Despia. If anything, it actually gives it gives the deck more offense. It gives the deck more flexibility because yeah, you want to be able to see more of your fusion plays, but at the same time you need heavy hitters too from your hand as well, just in case. So just fine. And then eventually I'm gonna search with the Looper. Well, he's taking back what he just said, so I'm just gonna immediately search with the Looper. So I don't know, maybe it's because he already banished the Mork, so he couldn't be able to respond to Looper's effect. Now he's gonna chain with his trap, the Booty, and I get the fusion. He goes into another list, that's fine by me. Use Serenade's effect. And you see right now I'm gonna go branded fusion during my turn after I draw. So he's curious, I'm sure. I'm like, sure. So what I'm saying, so what he's curious about is that if he can activate any cards in response to a fusion summon. I told him no, especially if I chain, if I say I want to add with Brand Loss, I can chain Albion and he won't be able to respond to Brand Loss search effect. So when I'm about to fusion summon, he can't activate any cards in response to that. It's different if it was super polymerization. The moment super polymerization activates, your opponent can't respond with card effects whatsoever, either player. So let's see what I'm going to search with Brand Loss. I'm going to go into Merc Carrier just in case. So as you noticed, I banished my Spriggan Kit as well as Albaz to go into Ridbrum, the Striking Dragon, as you see right now. And then I'll now search Branded Red with a Looper that I know I'm summon from my hand, which is my last. I'll use Branded Red's effect to add a Death Bounce for my grave, and I'll fuse using the 3. Oh, my mistake. For Mirror Jade, which is fine by me. So I'm gonna send one of my cards from my extra deck. I'm gonna figure out which happens to be Albion. He's gonna imperm. That's cool. Sure. Already it looks like a heated battle, so what else can I do that I'm trying to figure out? So why not? I'm gonna use Retribution's effect. So yeah, a lot of these one-ups do help this deck a lot. They make a huge difference. It helps you get to certain cards. This me managed to play around your opponent's like cards. And what I mean like play around your opponent's cards, that having one-ups can like pretty much contribute to, like, if they have something to respond with, you have another card that you haven't used that you could save for later, which can make a huge difference and kind of turn the tables. And he's gonna take the 500 because his monster gained 500. It was at, let me see, 1,000. So it gained 500 for each Plunder Patrol card that's in Spell Trap Card Zone. So he gained 15 basically. And he only had 25, so the 3K was able to talk over the 25. This should be a huge game changer, like you see right now. Playing a lot of these branded one-ups makes a huge difference, honestly. Except for the starters, obviously. So. But it looks like the duel is in my favor. It's not going to be a game yet, because we're still waiting on what's going to happen. He discards his Nibiru to search for his Whitebeard. Fine by me. He's going to attack over Ridbrum. And then I'll go into during the battle phase. I'll special summon the Looper that's in my grave, and I'll fuse using one of my opponent's monsters. Yep. Pretty sure at this point he's going to probably scoop, and then I'm gonna search with Lost for Blazing Cartesia, and he calls GG, and which it was a good game because although he couldn't deal any battle damage, this is just a demonstration of what the deck is capable of. Considering, although I'm playing, there are a number of cards I'm playing that are a bunch of one-ofs, but it's just the fact that I've explained from the beginning of what it's capable of. I have ways of searching them because Aluber is the starter, brand opening, brand fusion. Those are cards you definitely play through, especially if he gets into the cards that you can easily be able to just take out of your deck. It gives you no reason to play a bunch of 2 or 3 ofs that are easily searchable with the cards that you already have. So it's just that much easier because it gives you more options that way. So you always want to be able to see those one-ofs, especially since they don't, when you open with too many of them, they can definitely hinder your hand. So there are times you want to always max out on certain cards, because if you do, when you max out on certain cards that happen to help you start the duel, that for you is gonna give is a good start. Is gonna give you the benefit, and that you pretty much are in the clear, and that if you draw into it, there's a chance that card will give you a huge advantage, and you'll be able to overcome the threat as well as the opponent, which they matched up. So you may be close to losing life points, but depending on the next draw, if it happens to be a starter card, you have a chance of clearing your opponent and then winning the game for duel. Although he didn't deal any damage, this deck is strong just by looking at this duel, considering the number ones and what it's capable of. So that itself says enough to say that you don't need to max out on certain cards that people mention just because of that a number of people are doing it. But this proves otherwise. But I've been talking too much. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the duel. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.